Being introduced to video games at a young age shaped my whole life as a kid. One of my first games that I remember the most is Mario Party for the DS. During the months of May through August, I had the chance to go down memory lane and replay most of them, like Pokemon Pearl and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. As you can see, yes, I am a giant Nintendo fan. And overall, my favorite Nintendo game of all time has to be the Super Smash Bros. Series. As of right now, I play Ultimate competitively, and so far, it's a pretty balanced game, unlike others. The character that I used oftenly was definitely Sonic the Hedgehog, as at the time I was a giant fanboy and basically played most of his games. And to put the cherry on top of that, I oftenly ran around the house doing Sonic gestures for no reason at all. But I guess you could say that was a good thing, because that was basically the only form of physical activity I did around the time. Then, when Smash 4 came out, I really didn't know about it, but I arrived to the competitive scene super late, like right when Bayonetta came out, which was alright, I guess. Then, Ultimate came out, and I tell you, the whole world was so excited. Hell, even teachers thought it was a cult symbol for the logo. But that's not exactly what I'm here to talk about. So let me stop being a fanboy over Daddy Sakurai's video game. For those who don't know, Smash has had a very rough year with the cancellation of top players and very well-known people in the Smash community. It sucks to see the people who you look up to end up being a sex offender or a predator, and I'm still waiting to see how Nairo's story is going to be played out from the recent conflict with Captain Zack. I remember watching Nairo stream and Zero's YouTube videos as they uploaded consistently, and if anyone right now were to go back to the past and tell me what happens to my beloved idols, I wouldn't believe you at all. But don't get me wrong, I still love Smash a lot. My love for it grew even bigger with the inclusion of Steve in the game, but boy did Nintendo mess up with Super Smash Bros. Recently. So the thing I'm about to talk about is getting pretty old, but I still feel free to talk about it. You see, due to the pandemic that we're in right now, it's basically impossible to hold public tournaments without breaking multiple health violations. So a lot of competitive games have to be held online by default now. That's easy for most games, but not for Melee exactly. You see, Melee came out in 2001 for the GameCube, and at the time, the GameCube itself didn't support a network system that we have nowadays, until the company Slippy came out, which with rollback netcode, or just netplay, which basically allows you to play Melee or any other fighting game with the same format online. And with the pandemic going around, this solved so many issues that the tournament holders like the Big House had. Now, my knowledge of Melee is not that big, but after years of watching people put their sweat and tears into this game, I can tell that this game makes up a lot of what we call the Smash community. And I'm pretty sure everyone else would agree, but that's not the case for Nintendo. Okay, a little disclaimer. Before I say what I'm going to say, I don't want any of you out there to harass Nintendo. They're a very nice company with amazing games to complement their brand, and the workers there are excellent at making amazing games that I call my childhood. Now, Nintendo isn't a perfect company. They've made many mistakes in the past that people did not agree with, and they have made very poor decisions which led to major controversy in the company. But by far, I must say, what they did recently was by far the most selfish thing they could have done. Now, you may be asking yourself, what exactly could they have done to be called selfish for their act? Well, one of the tournament holders for Melee I talked about earlier was the Big House, and during the time they scheduled a tournament filled with well-known players from the Melee competitive scene. Then, right when everything was perfectly set up, the Big House posted a statement on their Twitter saying they had received a cease and desist from Nintendo for using Flippy to emulate online play, as I was talking about earlier, but it gets worse. they also decide to go out of their way, go to the big house's Twitch, and take down all of their replays from their live stream. To sum up what Nintendo did exactly is they're basically making Melee a dead game. It sucks to see how self-centered Nintendo can be about a game that can't even get support from its own company, and with the community at that, cause Smash Ultimate and basically any other Smash game barely gets supported by Nintendo in general. Now, I'm not here just to call out Nintendo and just say what they did wrong. I'm also here to tell you what Nintendo should do. What I think Nintendo should do is be more accepting of their content being shared and stop throwing out copyright strikes on any video with their content on it. But who knows, I may not know the whole backstory behind why Nintendo may be doing this, but in the end, I hope that Nintendo would do a better job at representing their support for games that are trying to make a stable community. So to support this cause, there is a hashtag called #FreeMelee. I want as many people to spread word so Nintendo to know that they need to stop and listen. So that's what I was wanting to talk about, because it was on my mind, and I know I'm pretty late to the topic because recently I've gotten tons of work from school and it's virtual and everything. But yeah, that's probably gonna be it for this video. I have to get used to a new editing program too, so yeah, I can't promise my uploads are gonna be consistent, but yeah, that's about it.